is up, folks? Jorge Anito here. Thanks for coming over and welcome back. Today, this is my favorite color change. I like a lot of them. This is one of my favorite because it utilizes that one thing that I talk about the last few videos. It's the modified Herman Pass. If you don't know what that is, basically a Herman Pass is like this, right? So that modified Herman Pass is where you're doing it just like this. And I know I've talked about this just a little bit before, but what you could do is incorporate this in a beautiful color change. And it just looks like this, where you take and just sort of kind of cock the deck back and just rotate it. It's in one fluid motion. And you even show the spectators, hey, you can let them examine the cards. Once they're happy, and you just rotate it in your hands, and that's what you could tell them. You say, okay, let's see what happens that time. It works every time. It almost looks like a color trick. It looks like a camera trick. It really does. It looks really cool on social media, but it looks even better in real time when you're actually performing this for somebody, because it really does look like a camera trick for real. So the mechanics of this, are this. So if you know how to do a Herman Pass, you'll be able to do this very easy. So once you get this movement down, and I'm just taking I'm getting a break somewhere about half the deck, about right there, and I'm using my pinky to just pull down, to kind of pop this packet upwards. And I don't want it to be flush with the deck. I want it to be at a diagonal angle. This is important because it's going to allow you to get underneath this quite a bit more easier than the other method. The other method, we always have to do some weird way of covering, the actual Herman Pass, because you have to release your grip, re-grip, and so people's, trying to do all this cover stuff, and this is all you need to do is just that right there. And if you can incorporate this motion with it, you have a beautiful color change. And so once you have this part down, then we could work on the motion. And so I always start out by showing the spectator this motion that I'm doing. It's almost like I'm kind of cocking the deck forward and then rotating it. I want them to see a full rotation with nothing happening. I want to condition them for the actual change, because I want the movements of the sleight to resemble the first motion. And so once they see that, then I go into the sleight. The reason I cock it forward like that, when I'm cocking it forward, I'm breaking the second half down, right? But they can't see that. All they think is that I'm just cocking it forward. So you have your break, you cock it forward, and you lever this packet down just like that. Once you're in this position, then you could start with the motion of bringing this packet back, letting the other packet come up through there, kind of re-gripping, and just going into the rotation. It's very fluid. It's not hard. This is the full exposed view. Now, there's a lot of dirty stuff happening, and you feel like you're going to get caught. But this hand right here blocks literally everything. They can't see nothing. All they see is a change happen. And so that's it, guys. That's it. So we'll go through this one more time. You get a break. You want to hold the deck, obviously, like this. Don't worry about them seeing the break, because what they're seeing is the face of the card. And you don't actually have to get the break yet. Like I said, first, I want them to actually see the moment. So you do that. You get your break. You come forward whilst breaking the middle packet or the bottom packet away. And all that is just pulling it downward. Just like that. So with this movement and this movement combined, it looks like that. If you could just get that, you're halfway there. So once you're in this position, you're getting under here. And once you just get underneath of it, then you could start to bring this packet back and you can kind of see what happens. You square it up, and it's done. Now let me just go ahead and say this real quick. Daniel Madison has a version of this that he does that's one-handed. It's kind of like that. Obviously check out what he has to do. This is really difficult for me to do, but it does involve like a knuckle cut, and there's a little bit of cover with this hand. For the most part, it's done with one hand, and it achieves the same result. So check out what Daniel Madison has to say about this trick. This is just a way that I've worked out. Many people probably do this. It's just I decided to do the Herman Pass, the modified Herman Pass. And somebody else does something similar. Jeremy Griffith, he also does something similar where he does like it's kind of like a spread pass, but he has a different way of doing it as well. But it basically achieves the same thing. This is the easiest way that I know to do this color change. It's fun to practice. It's so visual. It's just a hoot, if I could say that. Guys, thank you for checking out this tutorial. We'll call it the Roundhouse. I don't know what to call it. Gears of color, the wheelhouse, the roundhouse. Let's just go with the Roundhouse. Leave a comment below if you have a better name for it. And let's pick a name for this. This is a really good move. It's really fun. I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe. And God bless.